All right, for the roll call, we have 59 members now of the church, and we have 26 people here, so we do have a quorum. So now for the 2022 minutes and approval. The minutes were handed out to you, so did anybody have any corrections to the minutes from the last meeting? I do have one correction. It's a typo. Instead of TORP, it's TARP on the first page. So that was one. I mean, yeah. Any other corrections or typos? All right. Ray, did you want to put that? It's moved. Do I hear a second? Who said that first? I want to say Don Rao up here. Okay. Now the principal reports. I will go first, and then Jude and I will do some together towards the end, and then we'll turn it over to Jude for her minister's report. So I'm going to cover a couple of topics that we talked about last time, and first of those being the facilities. We stated last time that the lighting, the plants, and the new patio furniture were priorities for us. And so with lighting, we raised $4,000 thanks to your generosity, and we prioritized what we could do with those funds. We increased the lighting in the parking lot and the side as well as the entrance. And a thank you again to all of you that contributed to make that happen. Landscaping, we had a cleanup day shortly, not too long after our last meeting, with much help from the congregation. Nancy Bach and Johanna Maybe have been continuing with that effort, particularly in the meditation garden. We've paid for the oak tree branches to be trimmed and the strangling fig over here to be taken out. New furniture on the patio, we've gotten 12 new chairs, and they were donated by members of the congregation, and this is a work in progress. A change in the lobby was made to make that more visitor and congregant friendly. We changed the seating in the sanctuary to make it easier for collections and to give attendees more space. We had sound and AV upgrades, and Jude is going to go over that in more detail in her report. And the biggest issue we have right now is the roof. And we've had a couple of leaks already, and we've approved to get those fixed. We have been given one quote to replace the roof would be $44,500. But that I honestly think is a low quote, but I think it would be good for us to get additional quotes, and so we would be looking to do that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get later into the meeting. The next topic is COVID protocols. We said we would continue to revisit that throughout our board meetings, and we have been doing that. And we may go ahead and just eliminate that from our agenda, our regular agenda, because we really haven't made any changes of late. Next topic is board growth. We continue with the Power of 8 book that I reported on last year, and then we put it into action. And we really enjoyed that on Monday mornings at 8 o'clock. We would get together and pray as a board. But then the summer vacation started happening, and so things sort of fell apart a little bit. And so now we do it as somebody has a need. They send it out to the Power of 8 group, and then we pray on that with our intentions of the whole group. So we will be picking out a new book for our first regular meeting with our new board. Jude's contract. The board had a request from Jude to eliminate the sabbatical and instead replace that with an additional week of vacation. And the board agreed with this, and the change was made to the contract. And the change actually ends up being more, not even neutral, but a savings to the church, because we're not having to pay somebody to be on a call, basically, for spiritual counseling and all, as well as for the guest speaker fees. And as an aside, I believe it's important to do whatever we can, whatever possible, to keep valued folks happy. And Jude is certainly a valued employee of this church, and so anything that we can do to make that happen is a positive thing. So the board was very happy to make that change. So fundraising, we're going to be going over the budget, and you'll see that with the income and expenses going as they have been, replacing the roof is going to be somewhat tough. We've had the most success as fundraisers when we've done it on a particular topic, like, for example, the AV that we did with that, the parking lot lighting. When we have something specific that people can get behind, we've had more success in raising some funds. So we're looking to do our raising our roof type of fundraiser, and we're looking at different things to do that. One of the things we talked about was a gala, and the board wanted me to just get a pulse out there of how people would feel about doing a gala. And so I'm just going to do a simple hand raise. Now, a gala would be something where we would hire perhaps a disc jockey, so our band, our choir and band would not have to work the thing, and that we would have somebody be hired to do the disc jockey, and then have the function with food, whatever the gala turns out to be. But a lot of times with galas are a little bit more pricey than the $10 love offering or whatever. It's going to be probably more like $50 or something like that as a general rule. I know my mother's church is doing that St. Patty's Day for $50. So it'd be something more in line with that. So with that in mind, just a show of hands, how many people would come to a function like that here at the church or wherever it was held? How many? Just please raise your hand. I want to get a feel for that. Okay. And then if you would put your hands down now, how many people here would not only come themselves, but maybe invite some other friends to come and purchase tickets? How many people would feel comfortable with doing something like that? Raise your hand, please. Okay, so I've got about 10 for the latter and more like almost everybody for the former. Okay. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. How many people would be willing to help?
That's a great. All right, very good, very good. Thank you for that. And actually, that's one of the things I was planning on asking at the end of all these is, no, this is good. It's better to do it this one because this was a big one. The other ones maybe don't take as much effort, so that was a great question. But the thing of it is, we would be looking for people to head up something like that, and so if you have interest in that, we don't have to pick that person now. The board's going to continue to discuss this a little bit, and so if you have interest, would you talk to one of the board members and say you have interest and you would like to lead it or whatever, so that we can discuss that as a board. The next thing we talked about at the last board meeting was a GoFundMe, and so that's been used a lot. Jude made some inquiries to other churches that are doing that kind of thing, so that is something that we're looking at as well. And then we also discussed a matching effort or a matching challenge, and we have had those kind of things in the past, and so that was another thing that we talked about. So these are some of the things that the board has discussed, and we will continue to discuss, but we wanted to get a feel for particularly the gala to see if there was interest around that. Yes?
These are all for the roof.
This would be a focus effort toward the roof, yes. Yes, because it's needed after 2 leaks fairly closely. Rose, and then I'll.
Well, I can provide the music for the gala. I am a karaoke /DJ.
All right, very good.
So I will be obliged to volunteer my time.
Thank you very much, Rose.
For the entertainment.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we will, as a board, we'll talk about that and then get things rolling, but we just wanted to get a pulse from you all now, so thank you so very much for that. So the next topic is heartfelt events, and we, just talked about fundraisers, but that's not all that makes a church is, making money to keep things going. And so we had a couple of wonderful heartfelt events, and that a lot of the congregation really did chip in for. The first one is the bed race, and I want to acknowledge Roberta Scott for doing that because that really did. We won. For the Family Promise, and we have the trophies out there in the foyer to show that, but that really did help out the community and Family Promise, and I just say thank you so much for it, because it was a lot of fun. It sounded like the people that helped build it, and it sounded like it was a great effort. And then the other great heartfelt event was the Circulation Day, which was more recent, and Johanna maybe headed that up, and a lot of the congregation helped. So for both of those folks, let's... So those made a difference to our community, and those are very important too. And hey, you know what? You put it out there and things come back as well too. So now I'd like to invite Reverend Jude up so we can do some additional gratitude to some folks.
All right. So first, I'd like to begin with our board of directors, starting off with Ray Rice. You know, if you've been in our church for more than a minute and a half, you have met and seen what Ray Rice shows up for, and has a deep love for unity of Stuart, and Ray has never said no to anything that I've asked him to do or anything we've asked him to do as a board. So I just want to acknowledge you, Ray, at first. And he is coming off the board, but he's not going anywhere because I won't allow it.
And I want to also acknowledge the historical perspective that Ray brings to the building being here, to everything about the building, the landscaping out there. He's just been such an asset. So thank you so much, Ray. And then we have Nikki Melby, who's not here, but hopefully she's watching.
Hopefully she's watching.
And so Nikki's wonderful in that she is not only a lawyer, but she's a beautiful spiritual being, and she brings both of those perspectives to a lot of input to the board, and so that's just been very wonderful as well. And do you want to say anything about
Yeah,
Nikki?
you know, Nikki's been a member forever. She was instrumental. Her and her former, she's a widow. So Craig, thank you.
Melby.
So Craig and Nikki were instrumental in getting this church built, along with Ray and a bunch of other people. And she's an attorney, and she's very busy. And the reason why she's stepping off the board is because she really feels like she hasn't been able to put in the time that she would like to put into being a board member. We will miss her, and she will always be a trusted advisor. So yeah. So for Nikki. And then we had a board dinner a couple of weeks ago, and Linda kind of went around the table, and we're appreciating everyone, and it's lovely to be appreciated. And I want to appreciate Linda Hart for her steadfastness, her professionalism, and her ability to gracefully keep us all in line at a board meeting. And I mean that sincerely. I've never worked with somebody who was so graceful about putting the hammer down. And she is just a wonderful person, a woman of integrity and of heartfelt love, and is a huge asset to our board and to our community. So thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
It's a little bit like herding cats sometimes to be on the board.
Ray has a whistle now.
Yeah. And then the rest of the board. So we have Don, who is our vice president, who does everything Don does. And
it comes up with some great ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, just see, all of a sudden he'll come up with a kernel. It's like, whoa, why
yeah,
didn't we
that's
think
it.
of
We
that
hadn't thought of
earlier?
that, yeah. And then we have Mary Claire, who is our member at large this time, and she's spent time on the board. She was the board president in the second or third year that I was here, and also a valuable member and a longtime member of our church. We are blessed to have that, as Linda said, that historical perspective.
Yep.
And then finally, Nancy Bach, who came on at my urging a few years ago, and she has, and I've said this before from the platform, she has mind like a steel trap. She's read something, she has resources in her brain that I have to get online for. And she is also a beloved member of this church, chaplain, and just there to say yes to this community. So thank you to the board.
So I'd like to ask all current board members, if you would stand, please, so that we can say thank you to you all. Thank you.
And Mary Claire.
Thank you. Mary Claire, thank you.
All right.
And now I'm going to turn it over to you to go through the.
Okay, all right, good. All right, and then, of course, we have Joyful Noise Band and Choir. We could not do what we do every Sunday. I could not do what I do every Sunday. You maybe have heard me say in the past that music in a church is, it could either build a mountain for the minister to preach from or dig a hole that the minister has to get out of. Every Sunday, I get a mountain built. And I am so grateful to Don and Doreen for doing everything that they do. And I also want to mention Sandy Rowell, who has, Jerry, are we streaming? Thank goodness. I also want to mention Sandy Rowell, who has taken on the organization of the songs and doing some research and making sure the choir, she calls it choirtizing songs, and make sure that the choir knows when to sing and what parts they have. So I want to say thank you to Sandy Rowell as well. And then, of course, to all of our choir. If you're in the choir, please stand so that we can see you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for raising your beautiful voices in song. And then we have our ushers that are led by Ricky Sheed. And so here's the thing. Ricky's been here longer than I have. I don't know. Ricky, how long have you been the head usher? 20, let's just say 25 years. Ricky is stalwart and steadfast and does what he does quietly and with love and with a heart of service. And I so appreciate that. So thank you, Ricky. And then we have our chaplain lead, Amy Neff, who came through when post-COVID. She called me up one day and she said, "Do you need help with chaplains?" And I said, "Hold, please, yes." So Amy has been the chaplain lead for how long, Amy? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So just much appreciation for you and the work you're doing with our chaplains, yeah. And then we have our hospitality coordinator, and that's Rose Peterson, who works with May to make sure that we have our hospitality every Sunday. Thank you, May. And May is somebody who says yes. I mean, Rose is somebody who says yes as well. So thank you, Rose. Welcome team, Sylvia Manelli. You heard me say goodbye to her a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week? Time flies. And she has moved, her beloved husband passed away about a month ago, and she has moved north to be with her family and her children. And so thank you to Sylvia. Sylvia, I don't know if you're watching this, but thank you. And then we have, I know Johanna is our a reluctant, she doesn't like it when I call her the head of gardening, but that she is. So I want to say thank you to Johanna for gardening and echo Linda's thank you for Circulation Day. You did a great and wonderful job. Thank you so much. All right. Yes. So gardening has taken a back seat to Circulation Day. Yeah, good. Thank you. And then we have our people who show up for facilities, and they are mainly Ray Rice, Joseph Smith, and our own Don Rowell. So thank you. Thank you. As a matter of fact, did you talk to Ray about putting together the new shed? Tomorrow morning at 8:30? All right. So anybody wants to join Ray and Don and help put up the new shed next to the first shed, show up at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Continuing outreach. So Roberta Scott has been our outreach guru. Let me tell you something about Roberta. She never lets me forget that there are people outside the walls of this church that need us. And I need that because sometimes I can get so insular about our community that I kind of put that in the back seat. So I so appreciate you for your steadiness, for your heartfelt love for the community, for this community, and for the community outside the walls. And so Roberta is our liaison with Family Promise. And I mentioned Interfaith Alliance because up until Thursday, Roberta was the engine behind our Interfaith Alliance, and she just stepped down because she has other things that she'd like to do. And so let's appreciate Roberta. And then, of course, we have our staff. We have May, who is in the office most days, and Roberta and I affectionately call her the young brain because she keeps track of what we forget to write down. And, of course, there's Roberta as our bookkeeper and Heart of Love, and Jen Hart for YFM, and Jerry in the booth, who is also one of the steadiest and most stalwart people in our community. And how long have you been back there, Jerry? What do you say? Well, I've been here for almost 8 years, so it's way more. It's way more than that. And of course, my daughter Sophia on the camera, and then Cadence, who is once again has come back to hold that space for nursery care. So let's affirm our staff. All right, so that's that. Now there's my minister's report. I'll probably cover a little bit of the same ground Linda does, but Linda did, but just a little quicker. So this is what we accomplished in 2022. We had our programs, our spiritual coffee house, our book groups that are led by me and Marlis. Oh, where's Marlis? Marlis leads a book group on Tuesdays. Let's appreciate Marlis for her book group. And also Elizabeth, I almost forgot Elizabeth's last name. Elizabeth Froling leads another book group on Wednesday night. So thank you to Elizabeth for that. Of course, we have John Plici at 8 o'clock in the morning. And some of the other programs we have is with Prayer Chaplain. Where'd you go, Amy? Oh, thank you. You were over there during service, maybe? Okay. So Amy as the prayer chaplain lead. Oh, and while I'm appreciating the prayer chaplain lead, and let's have all the people who are in the room that are prayer chaplains stand. I forgot to do that. Thank you. And let's have all the people who are ushers stand. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And did I say everybody in joyful noise? Yes, Mary Claire?
You forgot Scott.
Scott as the facilities. Scott Dykema, if you are watching this, you are the best guy on facilities ever. Thank you. Thank you, Mary Claire. Thank you, thank you. What's that? He keeps the AC going, man. He sure does. All right, and all of the above. All right, special services, of course, we had Easter, Thanksgiving Eve, Remembrance Service, Christmas Eve, the Burning Bowl, and we had our special events for Christmas Coffee House, which I think was the only really special event we had last year. And of course, we had the Family Promise bed race last year, and I hope we're doing that again this year. When is that, Bert? Okay, yeah, so everybody get ready. All right, so Linda mentioned that I would say something about the facilities and about our upgrade. So we had, due to your generosity, we were able to install this camera last year and upgrade the speakers and the sound system in there. And, you know, it was glitchy for a while, if you remember. And we had somebody come in and get us, straightened us up and fly right. So it's been pretty seamless this year, the sound. Jerry and I are working together on making sure that the sound is as best it can, as always. Don and Doreen and everybody else does that as well. So one of the things going forward is that I'd like to get another camera, and I'm in the beginning stages of pricing that out, so that we can be, instead of, for those of you in the room, it doesn't matter, but for those who are watching online, it's about panning from the band to the choir, then to me. It's easier if there's one camera that's just trained on this side and one camera that's trained on that side. So we're just in the beginning stages of that. We have still the Seventh-day Adventists meeting in our church every Sunday, and their Sabbath on Saturday. And we, the income from that helps a lot. I always get confused whether it's $750 or $650 that we get from them a month. Roberta? $650. $650 a month for the Seventh-day Adventists, so that helps. And of course, we have yoga with Nancy Miller, and Course in, yeah, that's on my list too. Thank you. Course in Miracles. All right, so coming up in 2023, of course, we're going to have chaplain training in March. You're over here in March, and we will have our coffee house, another coffee house in March, and most every month until the summertime when we take a break with that. And the new thing that I'm wanting to make happen this year is on the first Sunday when we have the potluck, is to also offer a workshop after that. So my goal is that on every first Sunday, there'll be like a 2-hour workshop after the potluck. And so I have 2 people that I'm bothering about that. And of course, I'll do that as well. And if any of you are here experienced workshop leaders and you have a workshop that you'd like me to take a look at, I'd be happy to do that with you. So what's happening, what's changing for special services this year is that all the special, so Easter, Christmas Eve, and New Year's Eve, no, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are the only special services that we'll do separately on the night of. So we've been doing, I do the Thanksgiving service, the gratitude service on the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. I'm switching that to doing that on the Sunday before Thanksgiving. The attendance on the nighttime special services hasn't been, you know, huge. It's been pretty small, so to speak. So along with the board getting their input, I decided that I would do all those on the Sunday before, and that includes the gratitude service, the remembrance service. We'll do that on a Sunday as well going forward. And of course, we do the White Stone on the first Sunday in January. It's to be, yes, it will be the Sunday service. Those things like we'll have a Remembrance Sunday service. We'll have a Gratitude Sunday service instead of having that at night. An outreach Teddy Bear March for the first time in 2 years, 2021, 3 years, because COVID started in March of 2020, so we put the teddy bears on hold. So we're doing that this year. And of course, we do the Safe Space gift cards that May does essentially single-handedly with her and her children. They shop and wrap and make sure that all those gifts get to those folks. We'll continue with renting space to appropriate groups. And I want to thank you all, especially those. Now, I thank everybody that gives. And I want to give a special shout out to those of you who give by consistent giving, which means that you either have your bank, like on a bill pay, send us a check every week or month, or you have us charge your credit card every month. And that really helps us determine, you know, where we're at. And again, appreciating everyone, and also if you can enroll in a consistent giving, that would be even more helpful to us. So that's it with the list that I have here, and I just want to say that this May will be my 8th year, the close of my 8th year serving as your minister here at Unity of Stuart, and I'm honored. You know, we were at the board dinner, our holiday dinner, which we didn't have until February this year because of stuff, and I was, you know, I think Linda was appreciating me from across the table, and somebody said, "You're staying here, right? You're staying, you're not going anywhere." And I didn't ask the question of, why do you ask that? Why do you think I might be going somewhere else? And the story I was telling myself is that I travel a lot to see my family. And so I was wondering if maybe that was there. Oh, she really wants to live in New Jersey, or she really wants to live in Colorado. Maybe she's going to leave. Well, I'm telling you that I'm not leaving until I retire. So this is going to be my last church of service here. And of course, there's maybe 0.1% that something will happen and I'll have to go, who knows? And so I just want to tell everybody who's listening and thinks because I travel so much to see my family that that means I'm leaving sooner rather than later. So retirement. And at this point, I'm 65 years old, and my goal is to retire when I'm 70. So I know it seems a long time away, but it's really not. Blink, blink. So anyway, so I'm honored to serve in the midst of you. I'm honored to serve God in the midst of you on Sundays and in classes and in the kitchen and in hallways and sometimes in cars as I'm traveling down Route 95. And I've been blessed by you all. At the hospital. Oh, yeah, thank you. So I just wanted to say some things about attendance. So today, our attendance was 86, which is the new record since pre-COVID. So yay for all of you. You know, in 2022, we were in our sanctuary for the whole year, and our attendance around that time was maybe 40, 55 people. I think we got up to 60 a couple of times. And pre-COVID, our attendance was anywhere from 110 to 130. I went back and I looked at the old staff notes. So we have a little bit ways to go. So my vision, and we have had like 16 people online, 16 to 25. online. And it's going down as more people come back into the service. When I got on the Facebook this morning, there was only one other person watching online. It got up a little bit, and other people watch afterwards too as well. So my overarching vision for Unity of Stuart and for all of us is to keep growing in love and growing in expanded consciousness for our planet and for prosperity, and to continue to remain the strong, vibrant, spiritual community that we are, and to continue to grow into what is ours to do on the planet. So thank you very much. All right, Madam President. Nancy Bach and Roberta Scott, or is it just you?
I'm going to invite up Nancy to come up and go over the slides that we have for the financial.
Okay, hi y'all. Thanks for being in the church. And thanks to Reverend Jude for her divine loving leadership. Thank you so much. Okay, so here's some numbers. As of December 31st of last year, the income was $233,431.26. The expenses for the church were $242,684.24. And the net income was a minus $9,252.98, less the mortgage of $11,627.74, left us with minus $20,880.72. Do not despair. Okay, so what's next? Here's our current balances as of January 31st. This should, okay, so this should be 2023. Yeah, okay, thanks. Okay, so here's our checking account at the bank, at our Seacoast Bank, $15,427.30. Our savings account, the savings is at the building reserve, $3,509.57. The savings account for our restricted roof, we have $9,300. This is our savings account, is $22,600.12. This is the savings also set aside for the audio video fund, $305.44. And in the savings account also set aside still for the parking light fund, $865.05. So the total of all these bank accounts, $52,007.48. And then here's our mortgage, finally. We began last year with a balanced mortgage of $213,715.62, ending with a balance of $202,087.88. And what we paid down, we paid $11,627.74. So we're not in awful shape. We could be in better shape, but we're still thriving, and we recognize the abundance for all the people in the church. Whether we see you here or wherever we see you, we're grateful for your contributions. So thank you. Thank you.
All right, so in your packet you have the budget. And so last year we just went through page by page to see if there's any questions. And for any questions, I would turn to either Nancy, Roberta, or Jude to discuss. But we're just going to go through it page by page, not each item by each item. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at it. It was on one of the links that was sent out to you prior to the meeting. So I'm just going to go through the first page, page 1. The incomes, you'll see one column with 2022 budget. You'll see what we spent in 2022, the actuals, and then the budget amount that we came up with for this year. So we'll just go. I'm just going to go through this very quickly to see if anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask. So page 1, going once, going twice. All right, we're going to go to page 2. On page 2, we start getting into the expenses. Page 3, we start getting into the administrative expenses. And one thing as we're going through this, I'll let you know that we consider this a spiritual document. It's a document in faith and what we hope to bring in for some of these things, and that's something we talk about a lot as a board. All right, page 3 is done. We're going to go to page 4. Any questions, concerns? Page 5. And you can see the tithes. We do tithe back on whatever comes into our church as far as the giving is concerned, and we do that to the community or to unity tithes. So we do tithe back on what we get. All right, we're going to go, and I think that was the last page, yes. All right. So, any questions or anything? The board actually approves the budget, but we want you to be aware of the budget, and that's why I go through, and that's why we send it out prior. But I can tell you the board went over this budget quite carefully, and when the actuals weren't being reflected in what the budget was for this year, we made changes to that. And when there's a change in the expense, and we made it more realistic, then of course we had to go back to the giving and have that balance out. And so that's why this is a document in faith, that we're looking to have that money, those monies come in. All right, I do believe that's it for the financial portion of it then, so I am going to turn it over to Don Rao for the election of our new folks.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to read the bylaws as stated in Section 404, Board of Directions, Elections. Qualifications. Any person elected to the Board of Directors shall be an active member of Unity of Martin County. He or she shall be a person who desires to be on the board. That's always a good one. Endeavors to live in accord with the Jesus Christ principles of love, truth, as taught by Unity. Number 3, furthers the work of this ministry through his or her active interest, love, and support. Number 4, is a sincere and continuing student of Unity, conversant with its teachings, has demonstrated leadership capabilities, and has been a member for at least 6 months. So we have 2 people. I don't have their names here in front of me. Where are we at here? Do you want to have them come up and say a little something? Yes, okay.
All right, so it's Hildy. Let's start with Hildy.
Hildy.
Hildy Larada.
Hildy Larati, you're on. This is part of it. You got to get up here and speak.
Yes. So you all know I'm Hildy. Hi. So I have been a member of Unity of Stuart for only about 6 months, but prior to that I was a member of Unity of Delray Beach since 1996. So I'm very, very familiar with Unity principles and teachings, and we were very excited to find this new home when we moved over here, not more than over maybe 12 months, 13 months. So since I've been here, I've been part of the bed race that you referred to earlier, which was incredible. And I also was part of the circulation day and also do some of the youth fundraisers, and look forward to do many of those more, in the upcoming year, and help out with all the events and whatever else we can do to help out. I am extremely eager and excited to be part of the board. I'm looking forward to, bringing as much as I can to make it better, or I'm sure it doesn't need any improvement, but I just want to be of service and be available for whatever is needed with anything. My background is finance and accounting management, so so I'm hoping to bring value to that area of the board. So I'm excited about that. I've been with my darling Eva for over 34 years, and love being with our fur baby Lola, who's a terror sometimes. Love going to the beach, music, the outdoors. That's what I like to do to relax. And I just want to say I'm very honored to be considered and now part of the board. So thank you to all of you for even thinking of me. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, David Vidable, our next candidate. There you go. I think you're about the same size as me. There you go.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, when I came in and sat down, I knew we were voting. I said to Julia, I hope I can avoid a political scandal between now and the vote. I didn't want this to all go pear-shaped. Yeah, my name's David Vidable, and it's really an honor to be considered for the board. My wife, Julia, and I have been members of Unity since 2016. We actually moved here to Florida in 2014 and probably spent the better part of that 2 years looking for a church home. We moved from Pennsylvania, and we were a member of a church up there that we really loved being part of, and it took a while. You know, I think we probably went to most of the Christian churches in this area, and when we came here, we just felt like we're at home. You know, we're progressive people, and you know, it's some of the churches around here are not very progressive, so this just really felt comfortable, you know, immediately as soon as we got here, and it's been a great experience for us. We really love a lot of the people here and have made good friends. Julia's in the choir, and it's just been great to be part of this community, and it just feels comfortable to us. You know, we're very committed to service. I believe in you know, faith is a verb, it's an action word, and we try to contribute to the community that we're a part of, and it's been a pleasure to be able to do that as well. So I've been in business for my whole career. I'm an entrepreneur. I've built 2 of my own companies, and I enjoy helping people grow. I mean, that's part of my focus has always been in work to try to help people become better and grow in their careers. And I feel like if I can do that with one person at every company I'm part of, including my own, then I've been successful. To me, that's a sign of success. It's not about money or title or position. It's about can you touch somebody's life and help somebody become better, you know? And I've been fortunate to be able to do that. So I see this as a real just continuation of my work, the work that I do in my life and professionally and spiritually. And like I say, it just feels organic to me. It feels natural, and it just feels like a good fit. So I hope that I can do some good things here. I think there's amazing things going on already, and I think there's a lot more that I hope we can do as far as, you know, I think the message of unity needs to be heard, and I think there's a lot we can do to extend that message out into the community and hopefully bring more people in. So that's something that I hope to bring to the board. And I think I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Since we have 2 openings and 2 slots, I would like to see if anybody would have a motion to have them affirmed by acclamation here in the sanctuary. Okay, Tom Taylor does that. I mean, second. We got Ray seconding it. Okay, all those in favor of accepting Hildy and David on the board, raise your hand. Aye. All right, so be it. Welcome to all those opposed. Okay, well, Jude made me do that. I knew there was nobody opposed. All right, so by acclamation, welcome to the board, guys. Okay. I'll turn it over to Linda.
So are we blessed or what? We are blessed. All right, so we have now for the 2023 nominating team, we need one primary and one alternate. Now, this is for our next Board of Directors that would be for next year, okay? So who would like to be part of that team to be the primary on the nominating team? You get help, by the way, by the board. Who would like? Yeah. Wait, Don? You're gonna, okay, Sandy?
Is she watching?
Sandy, if you're watching, ring Don very quickly and tell him you don't want to do that if you don't want. All right, so we're going to take Sandy, and now I need an alternate, please. Who would like to be the alternate? It's not too much to do on this one, really, folks.
Literally, I mostly do all the work.
Eva, thank you, Eva. Thank you so much. All right, Evie, it's already said. Okay, Eva. Okay, got it. All right, very good. Now, to close out, we're going to have questions and answers here in a little bit, but I just wanted to do just a general gratitude to all of you, because a lot of your names were mentioned. If you're here, you care about this church a lot. If you're here for an annual meeting, so thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, every single one of you. Also, a big gratitude to Jude. I'm going to get choked up. But she has taken this church and really brought it along so beautifully, especially through COVID, where there's so many challenges, and people couldn't come here, and we still had outreach. We still had people engaged, and there's a lot to be said for that. So thank you, Jude. All right, now, so we have questions and answers. Now I'm going to invite Jude up. So if there's any questions on anything we've gone over or Doreen.
It's not a question as much as a vision that I would like to hold for our coffee house. I know you keep calling it Spiritual Coffee House, but we dropped the spiritual, so we just call it Coffee House Concert, because we were feeling like the word spiritual was maybe keeping some people who are not from Unity away, because they thought it was religious music. And of course, those of you who come know it's not. I mean, we try to pick songs that have a good message in it and everything. But there for a while, our attendance was kind of paralleling what the church was in post-COVID. And now the church is growing, but the coffee house is kind of at one place. Like we had around 40 people this last time. And it's a great way not only to raise money for the church, but to bring people in what I call the back door, where maybe they don't know anything about Unity, but they come to a concert and they go, oh, I kind of like the vibe of this place. So I just like to hold that vision, and I was wondering if maybe, and I know we had signs stolen for the circulation day, but if we even just started putting a sign out, concert tonight, even if it's just that night, concert tonight, and to just, ask your help and to helping you spread the word, because we put in the band practicing here at least 15 hours a month, where we're just, practicing, and that's together, and then on our own, we put even more time in, so, and we do it because we love it, we really do, but it'd be nice to be able to help grow it, so in turn, it helps even grow the church even more. I just ask for that.
Right. Thanks, Rini.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions?
Ray?
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Could I speak about the roof? No? No, of course.
Do you want to get up?
Please.
You want the mic?
Raise the roof. This roof was put on when we built the building over 20 years ago. I recently walked it with the gentleman that gave us a very, very good quote, I feel, but we'll confirm that with others. It has hail damage. It has loose shingles that are flopping in the wind. This roof will not survive a summer hurricane. I know nobody wants to hear that, but that's the truth. We need to do something now, before the wet season and before other roofers are too busy to bother. I know from our bylaws that we are not allowed as a board to spend more than $25,000 without a another general meeting for approval. But we do have nearly 10,000 in a restricted reserve roof fund, which we can increase on because it would be earmarked monies. We do not need to have a general meeting if we can increase that fund to be able to handle a roof that could be $40,000 to $50,000. And we would also have an additional cost of fixing and replacing the gutters because they're usually not salvageable in the process of re-roofing. So I would like to have us have a challenge grant to do this, and I'd also like everybody to think about becoming a member of the 500 Club or maybe the 200 Club. Now, how many people here have a roof on their house? How many people have a refrigerator in their house? If your refrigerator is dead when you go home, I guarantee you within 24 hours you will find the money to have a new refrigerator. Now, we're not working on just 24 hours, but give us a few weeks or a month or so, we're going to need to have this roof done. And we need to start putting money into it. So if you could earmark monies, 200, 500, or match a challenge grant, and we can increase our monies so we don't have to borrow money, we don't have to change our budget, we don't have to have a general meeting to authorize it.
We have to have a general meeting, whether it's designated or not.
Meetings aren't that hard to do.
No,
But the thing is, well, what, okay, if I can be corrected on that. I guarantee you, we need the roof as soon as possible. We have 2 leaks we've already repaired. Question?
Would the replacement be a metal roof?
A metal roof would be a third to half, again, more than a shingle roof. You're probably talking $80,000 to $100,000 for a metal roof. And if we had a grant for that, or if we had the money for that, yes, that would be the thing to do. But as far as fixing what we have to do, we need to do it. So if everybody would look at their refrigerator when they go home and say, how can I replace this within 24 hours or a month? That's what we need to do. So thank you for your time, and thank you for allowing me to serve on the board. This is my church. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that increased urgency. Appreciate that, Ray. Doreen?
Yeah, just an idea for the board, the new board to discuss. A lot of times in these fundraisers, there's a program that's structured to give acknowledgements to businesses as sponsors, where it's not just individuals. Of course, individuals get help too. But if you remember for Spring 4th, we had that thermometer where we showed, and if there would be some formal way to recognize companies that might get involved, like maybe even the roofing company that we decide to hire, is listed as a sponsor because they knock off $500 or whatever. But there are plenty of fundraising types of programs that are out there. You can probably Google them and get ideas on how to structure that. And I think it'd be a way to involve businesses beyond, in addition to individuals.
Thanks, Doreen. Any other, Bobby? It does, and the board will be taking that under advisement if that's the way that we decide to go. And that's one of the things the board will be deciding at one of our first meetings, because there is some urgency around this. Any other comments, questions? All right. I do want to remind the new board that we will meet very briefly after this meeting. We'll meet in the conference room. We'll meet in the conference room for election of officers or decision on officers. It will be very brief. Usually it takes 10, 15 minutes, if that. And so please do, if you're a member of the board, please meet in the conference room afterwards. Another, Ray?
With a
let's do the, I know we always counted on Ray to make the motion to adjourn our meetings, is all I'm saying. So we are going to miss out a lot, but let's close with prayer first, and then we'll entertain that motion, okay, Ray?
And so we breathe. My heart is full of love for this church, for each one of you, for the work that we do here, for the grace and ease of this spiritual community as we go forward to do the work that is ours. It is in gratitude that I say amen. Please join me together. Amen. And so it is. We adjourned at 12:55.